CrossFit Kaiserslautern FITCAST number 14.
I believe so.
I do too. Today we're going to talk about the open season, what it looked like in years past, how it has evolved, and what it looks like now, and also what's coming up actually, because we've just done the open.
Yes.
Time of recording this is the weekend before the quarterfinals. So when you hear this, when you listen to this,
It'll be after the quarterfinals.
it'll be after the quarterfinals. So just FYI, we're living in our time bubble, and we're 2 weeks behind.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
2 weeks ahead.
Yeah, depending on what the point of view. Okay, let's talk about what the open actually are, what the intention is, and then how you went from the open, how you progressed, what the progress looked like from the open.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the open is an online, worldwide CrossFit competition. Right, that anyone and everyone is able to register for online and participate in. The Open is the beginning of the CrossFit Games season, so it's the start of the biggest CrossFit competition in the world.
Yeah. It's the biggest participatory sports event in the world already, and just some background, the intent to why the name open and why it is actually open to anybody was, or still is, to find the fittest on earth. And by not limiting it to a CrossFit affiliate, back in the days there were not so many.
More garage gyms than affiliates.
Yeah. Because you could also video your workout performance and submit it, and you would be judged, you would be the result would be taken into account in order to qualify to the next stage.
Yes.
And then eventually get a chance to become the fittest on earth.
Correct.
Yeah, because they wanted to have as many people participate to actually
find the true fittest on earth.
Yeah.
Yes.
No matter whether you've been doing CrossFit for a long time or your background was or is elsewhere. Yeah? Cool. So traditionally, and I'm saying traditionally because we've had some changes over the past 2 years, it looks like we're back to a somewhat familiar season format. It used to be
open first in end of February, beginning of March time frame.
Yeah.
It was 5 weeks long.
Yeah. One
workout per week that was released on Thursdays, and your score was due by Monday.
Yeah.
So we had 5 workouts total for the open.
A lot of Friday Night Lights events happening.
Oh yeah,
at that time.
Miss those days.
Yeah.
And then after the open, people would qualify for what they called regionals then, and there was, I believe, 8 regionals originally. There was a California regional, a European regional, Asian, that they were all over different continents.
And it all depended on open participation.
Region.
So for example, Northern America, they had a lot more open participation than for, let's say, Asia.
Yes. So
you would see 4 or 5 regionals in the US or in Northern America, and you would only see 1 in Asia, and that's why.
Yep. So then 3 weeks of regionals in May.
2 events per week usually, or 3 even.
Yes. And I think the different regions were at slightly different times. Like they weren't all on a couple of them were on the same weekend, but there was different weekends that the regionals was on so that you could watch all of them. And because of the just the way the world works. The planet Earth.
With the sun and
then, yes.
Yeah, and the rotation.
Science. You're welcome for your science lesson today. So 3 weeks of regionals across 8 regions, and then from there, a certain number of people qualified. Was it?
It all depended on the.
Depending on how many per region could qualify.
Yeah.
Again, depending on how big the region was, how many people. Those people would qualify for the CrossFit Games.
Correct.
And from there, the CrossFit Games is usually end of July, beginning of August time frame, and that's where we have dialed in the most fit people from this competition, and they fight it out for fittest honor, or title, for the title fittest honor.
Yeah. They don't actually fight, but yes.
I mean, some of the swimming, you go back and watch the fittest on earth and they talk about how brutal they are.
True. Fair point. Okay. This was the familiar season format up until including 2018.
Yes, 2018 there was a very minor change. They went from 8 regionals to 9 regionals.
Correct.
So they added one.
Yeah.
Europe was split up into 2 regions because they had more participants, which was awesome.
We had one in Berlin, Germany, one in Madrid.
Yes.
Yes.
Fun times.
Yes. Berlin was awesome. Cool. And then in 2019, there was a change.
Yes. So the 2019 season had its same open in February. But they decided they wanted to change the open to October for 2020.
They wanted to change the season.
Yeah, they wanted to change the season. So 2019 actually had 2 opens. The 2019 Open in February and the 2020 Open in October 2019.
Yes.
So we had 2 opens that year. The second one was almost directly after the games, which was intense.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. But along with this change, the open season was much longer, and it wasn't the only way to qualify for the games. They got rid of regionals and introduced what they called sanctionals.
Correct.
Which were already established CrossFit events. You may have heard of Wadapalooza, the Dubai Fitness Championship. Things like competitions like this, the German Throwdown, became a sanctional, and these were a secondary way for people to qualify for the games. So the top male, female
teams as well.
Teams, yes, but they didn't have the affiliate cup that year.
True.
That came back this year.
Yeah. So you had a couple of ways to qualify to the games.
Yes.
You had either top 20 open worldwide, or get an invite through a top placement at a sanctional.
Yes, and the sanctional season was a lot longer than regionals. The open in 2019 or 2020 started in October 2019, and then November started the sanctional events. So from November to I think about July, they had 20 something. They would have had before COVID. They would have had 20 something sanctionals. But we made it from November to March. I believe Wadapalooza was the last sanctional to actually happen in person before all of the lockdowns worldwide started because of COVID.
Yeah, that's right. So in 2020, when COVID hit, at that point we had the top 20 worldwide open finishers, and we had, I believe, 10 sanctional podium invitees.
Yes.
That made
stage 1.
Stage 1.
So that's another change. They decided to do a 2-part games to cut down on people, I believe. So they had an online games competition, stage 1, from these people, the 10 sanctional invitees and the 20 top 20 open finishers that competed online
So still at their home gyms or garages, whatever.
Yes, and Rogue did and YouTube. It was on YouTube, and Rogue did a video cast for that where you could watch all the. It was crazy. It was cool that they set that all up to be done. But so, and then the top 5. Did we have 5 in the games this year? Top 5 went to in-person CrossFit Games at the original CrossFit Games location, Aromas, California.
Yeah.
The ranch.
Yeah. And they went into like this COVID bubble.
Yes.
And were all tested and were able to actually
compete in person.
Yeah. Which was cool.
Yeah.
That they were able to pull it off.
Yes.
In the middle of COVID in 2020.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was in, what was that, September of 2020?
Yeah, it got pushed back because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know if they've announced that the change of the open format again before or after the games.
I think it was right after.
Right after?
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, because everybody would have...
Don't quote me on that.
Because everybody would have freaked out.
Yeah.
Done with games in September, starting open in October. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have another change.
Yes. So then new CrossFit CEO changed to Eric Rosa, and he changed the 2021 season back to open starting in February, which
what everybody liked and preferred.
Yes. So we moved the open back to February this year, but now they wanted to, because of the tough times of 2020 and COVID and all the restrictions and everything that was going on, they wanted to make it the most inclusive CrossFit Games season ever.
Which they did.
Yes, which they did. And we have more stages this time for online competition. We have started with the open.
3 weeks.
3 weeks instead of 5.
Yeah.
One workout per week again, which was nice.
Yeah.
And it's been 2 weeks. Again, we're in the future talking about, and you'll hear it in the past. 2 weeks, and then the quarterfinals start.
Yeah.
So if you placed in the top 10% in your
region.
Region.
Yep.
Then you were sent an invite to the quarterfinals. That's actually a crap ton of people if you think about it. Like Europe had 22,000, let's say, RX females, so they take 2,000 something females to the quarterfinals, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So then the quarterfinals are going to happen, and the top people from there get an invite to the semifinals, which will be a mix between the sanctionals and regionals feel. So there's less of them than the sanctionals, right? But did they change it back to regionals, calling it that?
No, semifinals.
Right.
Semifinals. It's still event partners.
Yes.
But the dates are set.
Yes.
The qualification process, the spots are set.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an invite anymore. It's an actual qualification to the games.
Yes.
Through semifinals.
Yes.
And go ahead.
Some of those are going to be online still due to ongoing COVID things happening in the world. We will have to wait and see if any have in-person competitions, because I think that's still up in the air.
Yeah.
And then the games that come after the semifinals have also, I think they also said, they have a plan to go online if they need to, but we are all hoping that it's back in person by the time that comes around.
Yeah, that's set to take place end of July.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like normal.
Yeah.
Or like originally.
Correct.
Yes.
Let's circle back to the inclusivity of the Open this year and how they're now with the quarterfinals, and we haven't seen the workouts yet, how they are still trying to find the fittest in the process in the qualification process to the games.
Yeah, so having the different, like the quarterfinals and the semifinals, they're inviting a ton of people. So
and they started with workouts that everybody could do.
Yes.
And for 2 reasons. from a fitness level standpoint, but also equipment, location.
Yes, they had every option this open of like equipment-free versions of the workouts.
At the gym, from home.
Yeah, full affiliate.
With video judge or with in-person judge, you name it.
They had all of the options, which was very cool, seeing as some people, the gym's not open still, or it wasn't during that time. And then taking so many to the semifinals, it's kind of...
Quarterfinals?
Sorry. I'm ahead of myself. The quarterfinals is pretty cool because they're giving people another chance to showcase their fitness.
Yeah, and probably a little more advanced movements, advanced
higher
weights.
Skills, higher weights, higher everything. And also this quarterfinals is 2 workouts a day now, it's Thursday through Sunday, and there's 5 workouts total across the weekend.
Probably.
I think they said 5.
You never know. Yeah.
True.
So it's basically 2 a day.
Yeah, so it's set up the same way an in-person competition would be over a weekend where you have multiple workouts a day, which is cool, I think.
You have to be able to handle some volume, which then
weeds out more.
That's what I was looking for.
More people.
Yeah, it weeds out the top from the, how do you say that? You have to say it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think something very cool they're about to do, which they did with this stage 1 of last year as well, is they're going to hold back results as they come in. So the leaderboard will not be live updated. They are holding back the results until everybody has finished submitting their daily 2 results. So nobody can
check the leaderboard
can game it.
And
Can game it. Yeah. Which is, I think, really cool because that is then more of an in-person event instead of I'm in the time zone. I'm at this time zone. I have an advantage because I see all the other results. I can see what they've been doing.
Yes.
And how I can improve my score myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is still a little bit of that because you get to choose which workout you do first. So you can play to your strengths in that aspect, but you don't have the leaderboard chasing anymore, which is nice. For everybody who has to do the workout first because of where they live.
Okay. Quarterfinals, another funnel. Again, numbers depending on the region you're living in, and then semifinals.
Yes.
Yeah. Usually it's 30 participants, 30 top, 30 men, 30 women. Yeah. Yeah,
and there's 6
and teams.
What is it? 6 continents. There's semifinals on 6 continents. So they're again including as much of the world to be able to go to a semifinal, so they don't have to travel, to another country if there's COVID restrictions or travel restrictions. So that's pretty cool too for the semifinals.
And there's a catch-all event. Did you see that? There's another online catch-all event in case you cannot travel to your semifinal, but you have qualified. That they're doing online. So they really want the best of the best to be able to get to the games. Yeah,
they don't want something, I don't want to say stupid, but something like COVID restrictions getting in the way of someone being able to participate when they deserve to be there, when they won their spot.
Correct.
So they're doing everything to accommodate for that, which is awesome.
I agree, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we talked a little bit about open histories, games season history. Talked a little bit about the back and forth changes the past 2 years.
Yes.
This year looks a lot more familiar to people who've been doing CrossFit for a couple of years, and it's a nice actual season.
Yeah.
It's not year round, almost 12 months.
Yes, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's an actual season for whatever.
And it looks like this is what we can expect in the future.
Yeah.
Minor changes maybe to the quarterfinal, semifinal stuff probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're in for they've set a good plan now.
Yeah.
Eric Rosa's on it.
Yeah.
And we'll
Dave
be continuing.
Castro.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited for quarterfinals and semifinals.
I am too.
Yeah. And hope you guys enjoyed this season. If you have any questions,
Also,
let us know.
if you qualified for the quarterfinals, congratulations.
Sure.
To everyone that qualified. I know we had a few people that I know of, including myself. A bunch of our coaches
did. You
did.
qualify?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. But congratulations to everybody else. It's no small feat. You should be proud, especially with the year that we've had. So
yeah.
Awesome job.
Really, really good job.
Like, subscribe, follow, share, love.
See you next time.
Community. How many words can I say?